Well, hello everyone. It's Anita again on our great Thursday Facebook Live thingy. And I am the founder of Affluence Financial Fitness for Women. And another one of our spotlight thingies going on tonight, right? For our issue that we just put out in for the
Women and
September issue.
no.
So I'm excited about this September issue and excited that you are here and that you're listening to us. So make sure, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be putting some things inside the chat. We're going to make sure that I don't have it on private chat because I was putting stuff in and it was on private chat last time. Oh my gosh. All right. So you guys, right? Hey, that's why I have these young people here to show me how to do these things, right? Right. Okay. So we're going to be talking with our spotlight author and about her article tonight. And so what I'm going to do is give it over to Candace, who is our editor-in-chief, the boss lady, and she's going to introduce our spotlight contributor tonight and go from there. Candace, take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're excited to be back for another contributor spotlight for Affluence Financial Fitness for Women magazine. And you can actually go right now and purchase the latest copy that just was released this month. And the theme of this month is mental health and money. And when I tell you this conversation tonight is so needed right now, so I'm ready to definitely jump into it. So I want to introduce our contributor spotlight for tonight, and it's Mrs. Shyra Murrey. How are you, Shyra?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here with you both again. So thank you for the opportunity and space to have this talk.
Yes. Welcome back. We're excited to have you back. Our last conversation was dope. I enjoyed it, so I know this one will be as well. So let's hop right into it. Your article, Exhausted and Running on Empty, was a very, very good article. So we want to talk a little bit about it, but we don't want to give them too much.
Yes.
So I have a few questions just to ask you. How would you describe mental exhaustion or burnout? How would you define it so people can know?
Yeah. So exhaustion and burnout is like one of those tricky things because it'll show up for each person a little bit differently. But when you're thinking about exhaustion, one of the things that you can compare it to is like physical exhaustion. I know that we've always been there. Whether you're on a long walk or on a long flight of stairs, you feel tired. You feel like, I need some water. I need a break, So I think we understand what physical exhaustion is. But when you're talking about mental exhaustion, you're just going to apply that to your mind, being just tired, burnt out, So that's one way that you can kind of look at it. So when I think of burnout, I think of long-term stress. So not just a hard day, so it's beyond that. So it's that long-term stress, and that can definitely result in exhaustion and burnout.
Okay, perfectly. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I didn't always know what that word meant. I had to learn. Even once I knew what it was still like, am I tired? Am I having a rough day, or is it a rough month, or is it a rough year? But once you do experience it, you definitely know what it is. For me, it's like working on different projects at different times. When you don't get an adequate amount of rest and break from certain things, you will experience that burnout. So, thank you for your words in this article, because they personally helped me, really cope with some things. So let's go into this next question. How does exhaustion, burnout affect your mental health?
Yes. So burnout and exhaustion is definitely connected to your mental health, and then also your physical and your emotional well-being. So it's all connected. So going back to something that I was saying earlier about it showing up differently for different people. So when someone is experiencing burnout, they might be irritated. It might be hard to concentrate. It might impact your sleep and your eating habits. You might feel anxious. You might start to feel a little bit depressed or detached. You might have a lack of motivation. It could also impact your attitude. If you find that you're just a little bit negative more often than you normally are, then that is definitely a sign of burnout. And I think that especially during this pandemic, when a lot of people either they experience job loss or they have to shift to working from home. And so, before, home was just like, oh, I'm so glad to be home. I can separate home, my work life from home life. And now it's just all one big bubble, and a lot of people are helping kids do a school on Zoom, and now they're transitioning back. And it's just a lot to juggle. So I think especially, over the last year and a half, it's been really challenging for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people are feeling burnt out, and a lot of people are exhausted. And so that, brings us to the importance of recognizing it, when it happens, and then also taking steps to lead a healthier lifestyle. So it's just like, what do I need to do so that I can start feeling better internally, so I can start feeling better physically, and like, what can I do to reduce this burnout?
Right. I feel like your article definitely addresses that. It really goes into a lot of great detail. I did put that link in the comment section, by the way, where you can go right to MadCloud and order your printed copy, and you will receive a digital copy for free immediately. So I suggest everyone do that, because this is right now information that can really help a lot of people out. You mentioned, people working from home, and I've spoken to a couple of people that it goes back and forth. 1 minute they're home, 1 minute they're at the office, then something happens, now they're back home, and it could get crazy. Right. So having this type of knowledge really helps you. Like I said, it has really, really helped me, because you don't really even understand sometimes that you're going through these things. You just live in life and trying to do the next thing that you got to do. And having this knowledge makes you stop and think and plan a little better about how to handle these things. So, I suggest everybody definitely going and purchasing the latest copy of the magazine, and most definitely checking out your article.
Yeah, I second that totally. And as I was writing the article, I'm speaking about my experience. It was real for me, and on some levels it still is, and so definitely want to check out the article. We're gonna it goes into some detail about like self-care and like what to do if you're feeling burnout.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for using yourself, because I could tell that it came from her. I was like, yes. Yeah. Reading the article, like all of that. Yes. Yeah. Anita, did you have anything you want to ask? I got one more question. But before I get to my last question, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Not that I can think of right now. I'm just excited that Shyra's here, because I have that special love for her. I have that special love. I met her when I was speaking for her and her husband, and basically the whole family. When I was speaking, and I'm always excited about her story and how she arranges her story, because she's like a living legacy in the financial realm of things, And reading her article, it was great. Again, we're gonna make sure that we put the information in about the podcast, because the new podcast that is for September, the one we just put up, actually I read a little bit of all the articles in this podcast. And so if you have not listened to the podcast, Finding Your Financial Voice podcast, then I would suggest you read, because it has a little bit of everybody's article, but you got to get the magazine. You got to get the magazine to get the full effect.
Right. Absolutely. So I'm going to put that link in the description box, not the description box, but the comment section to the Finding Your Financial Voice podcast. So you can definitely check that out. And all of the Affluence Magazine contributors have been a guest on the podcast and been able to share a lot of different things about their finances. So it's definitely worth checking out. And speaking of Shyra, would you like to tell us a little bit about your financial journey? Because it is very inspiring.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I guess I'll start with in 2017, my husband and I were able to pay off a 6-figure debt, and that included our primary residence at the time. And so after that, we said we want to share our story. And so we started the platform Black, Married, and Debt Free. And so we're on YouTube, we have a podcast, and we share our story, and we talk about finances and relationships. And it was, kind of around this time it was when I met Anita, like when I was just getting started with YouTube, when I was just getting started with my podcast. And so it was just wonderful to connect with her and to be able to participate in her book collaborations. And tonight it has helped to help me to come out of my shell and to write more and to speak more. And so I appreciate that and having that relationship and connection. But yeah, that's what we're all about, is getting our finances, on point. And I really do like this topic around mental health and bringing that and finances together.
Yeah. I mean, I know you've probably talked about your story a lot, but that's amazing. 6-figure debt.
Yes.
I think that's worth shouting and repeating. You know what I mean? That's really real. People go their whole lives, not able to do that. And so how long did it take for you all to do that?
Yeah, it took 2.5 years.
That's amazing. So you all definitely got to check, her story out. Go to YouTube and follow on YouTube. I'll do my best to put that in the comment section as well. If you want to, please feel free. So, because all of these things and conversations that we're having is what's needed.
Yes.
People are asking all the time, how can I do what you just did?
Yeah.
Was it hard?
It was definitely, it was challenging, but it was also motivating because we were doing something that we knew would improve our relationship, our finances, something positive, that, our kids helped to also keep us motivated as well. And I think that once we had a plan, it became a little bit easier.
Right. Mm-hmm. Anita, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, JR put inside the comment section discipline. And, we talk about discipline all the time. It's really funny that this morning, as I was leaving out to come to work, my neighbor says to me, you know how your neighbors are. Some of them are a little nosy, but but I know she looks out for me. But she says, you're so disciplined. You basically kind of go to work around the same time. If you got something to do, you do it. You'll usually come home around the same time, that kind of stuff. And so she, and I never even thought of it, about discipline. It's just, I got to do it. So you looked at your head and said, hey, I got to do it. And so let's figure out, you and your husband looked at that, figured out, got to do it. And then that basically is what happened. And that's, the discipline is very much in discipline, mindset, all of that is you have to have that. You have to be motivated, and you have to have a game plan and be able to see the game plan at the end. That's really important.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, JR, thanks for joining in the comment section. She said a lot. She said, yes, very good topic. She said paying off six-figure debt. And yes, she said discipline. So I totally agree. I think we get maybe like a negative feeling when we hear maybe discipline or like, oh, that's hard. But we're disciplined about a lot of things if we look at into our lives and that we don't even realize some stuff might be disciplined in the bad to do some things you shouldn't do, but for the most part, a lot of people, even if it's just with workout or fitness, if they enjoy it, they see the results that come from it, they become dedicated to it and it becomes a part of their life. So I want that to become a part of my life, being that disciplined to do that in 2 years.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what are some upcoming projects and things that you have going on that we can follow?
Yeah. So as I was saying before, you can check out all things Black Married Debt Free. And you can check me out, me and my husband together. Quite a duo, the two of us. But that's pretty much it, doing the work thing, but also reminding myself to slow down and to breathe. And it's okay to have those moments where I'm not being busy, So that's definitely one thing that I'm working on as a result of going through the process of writing, this article.
Right. Doing this work really keeps you in focus, writing for this magazine, working with this magazine really keeps me focused on things like this. You don't even think you need it. You don't even feel like, it's necessary until you sit down sometimes and really examine it, because life is going by so fast and you're making all of these quick decisions. But I heard you say something about planning, and that has helped a lot as well. So I appreciate you having this conversation with us. We can't give too much, but
Right.
trust me when I say this article is well worth it. It was a really good read, a very right now type of message, for a lot of people. And it's honestly the difference between not just being healthy mentally, but being healthy physically. Because burnout can affect you physically, especially as we're getting older. That it can become a health issue when you're not taking these things seriously. So, and that can affect your money.
Yes.
So we should be cognizant. Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Cognizant of these things and aware of them, and to plan to make better decisions and have more discipline. So I definitely would love for you all to check out the magazine. It's on MadCloud, and you can actually just type in one word in the search engine. You can type in affluence, and it's the second magazine to come up. So you click on it and you purchase it, and you get your digital copy right away. And not only will you have Shyra's article to read, there are other great articles that attack this topic of mental health and money. You all went in this month. It was like everybody just was ready to kind of talk about this, and just get it out and share. So I was very appreciative of that. You also want to definitely check out Finding Your Financial Voice podcast. What I'm going to do is look for the podcast with you, Shyra, and put that in the comment section.
Okay. Cool.
So everybody can definitely check that out for sure. And I did put Married, Black, and Debt Free. I don't have the link just yet, but I put that in the comment section for everyone to definitely go check out as well. So, Anita, did you have any additional questions? I'm done with my 3 questions.
No, I have no more questions, but I'm, grateful that you guys are here and anybody that's online. And definitely check out Black Married and Debt Free. All you have to do basically is put it in the Google machine, as our former President Bush used to say, put it in the Google machine, and you'll probably get everything you need to know about Shyra and her husband and her family about Black Married and Debt Free. Okay, definitely. So thank you for being here. Thank you for honoring us with your presence, and just honoring us with all your great articles contributing that you give to the Influence magazine. It just wouldn't be right if you weren't in it.
Oh,
Definitely.
thank you. I definitely
Yeah,
appreciate
definitely.
the opportunity, and I'm so glad to connect
Yeah.
with you both again.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yep.
Thank you so
So
much.
then
Yeah.
Shyra will be back next quarter when we release the next issue in January, and we'll be sitting down again to discuss that issue and what we're discussing at that time. And I'm looking forward to it as well. You can also go to the Affluence Magazine page while you're there, like it. But you can scroll back to see the last quarter's topics and discussions. They're all there, and Shyra was there as well, sharing some really good knowledge. And so definitely check that out for sure. So if our hearts and minds are clear, I don't know why I have to say that every time. But
That's
if our hearts and
okay.
minds are clear, yep, we'll be back next Thursday, same time, same place. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Candace. All right, everybody.
All
Thank
right.
everybody for being part, and then we'll see you the next time.
Okay. See you soon.
Good night.